And it's
I think that's where we get lost, because we're projecting our material, even though you and I see past the material. We were brought up in it, we're byproducts of it. Yeah. I don't think the way we view space and other civilizations or the potential of them, we kind of apply this materialist view.
Are we in the zone? Are we live? We're live.
Just let me know how crooked or whatever I am.
No, you're good.
You see the actual, is it showing you the video?
I can see me.
You can see you?
Hello, people. We might be on a path to evolve to connect with other species on whatever, something that is conscious, aware of themselves, that can tap into something outside of their earth, their whatever there is. Maybe there's just, because we have an expanding universe, you have to get more advanced technologically to connect to it as it's expanding. So
we just haven't met it yet.
We might not.
If the route to get there was purely through a materialistic philosophy and the end result of a materialistic pursuit, through science and technology, then we should already see evidence of that infrastructure, that galactic community, that universal.
Maybe we don't, the output's there, but we don't have the input to see it.
I think that's a nugget of it. In other words, our understanding of physics is incomplete, but we know that with quantum physics.
Yeah, to the point where maybe we tap into it, all of a sudden, it's like putting on a different channel. Like, you're not going to hear what's on 92.4 FM until you put yourself to that frequency. The modulating frequency that's putting that output there. Maybe we haven't even opened that door. Maybe someone has been trying to connect.
I wonder if part of the key that unlocks that door is, as cliche as it sounds, the mind or the human subjective, because that's outside the realms of classical physics and science. What if it's not material based at all? Because I wonder if
now you're getting into universal consciousness. You define it as nothing, it's something. By our definition of nothing, I guess nothing. We go from more solid to less solid to plasma to void.
Here's a good way to think about it. I came across this idea once. I was listening to a channeling that happened in the 1980s.
Channeling?
This is early on in my spiritual growth. I was being exposed to shit like that for the first time.
Okay.
But there was 120 videos, each one 30 minutes long. There was a lot to take in. It was called The Raw Material. Okay. Is it bullshit? Maybe, I don't know, but I mean...
It sounds like it could be BS, but maybe it's a good stepping point for a good conversation.
Certainly is. And so supposedly she was in contact with this thing that identified itself as a social memory complex called Ra. And it defined a social memory complex as, how on Earth we have culture. It's kind of like this embodiment that takes on its own form, but it's made up of all these constituent individuals. This would be if our little individual centers of awareness, came together and all became one awareness, is the way that it described itself.
When the parts become part of the whole. It's pretty, you hear that?
The elements. Gonna be in the tundra in a few weeks. Not the tundra. The mountains of Maine.
The frozen tundra.
We should go to the tundra.
Frozen tundra of northern Russia.
I was thinking the Yukon. I would love to go to the Yukon, man.
Whew. How about we first start with maybe getting up to Banff?
Yeah,
right. The northern Canadian Rockies. We've already hit up the Rockies together.
And that's one of the things that makes me want to get into backpacking, because as you start to gather that experience of self-proficiency, your frontier starts to kind of, get pushed out there.
I gotta get back to the present. I'm like in my little side quest in my brain thinking of entropy and energy.
Oh, yes.
So it's okay.
I think consciousness is the ordering principle of the universe.
Is that now contradicting our last?
The universe itself is a contradiction.
Yeah, so our last chat with this equilibrium. So maybe when we are trying to do a little more order, it is taking up too much energy. And we need to let go. And it'll find that order, even if it has to go through some type of disorder to get there.
That physics backs that up. If I remember correctly, for a system to advance to a higher state of order, it requires less energy to go from disorder to order rather than an ordered system to a new ordered system.
Look at this. This is a walking stick for a man that's like 6'5". Here you go.
Oh yeah, that fits.
It's a walking stick.
That thing's proper.
Pretty majestic. I think you're gonna grow a big ass long white beard right now.
You shall not. The first mountain hike I ever did, I was wicked naive. I was like 25, went to Mount Chikora, and my brain just sensationalized it as this whole experience of like survival and whatever. I still kind of
Rambo
consider mountains that way. But I used to bring a buck knife with me, and then I'd take twine and tie the handle of the buck knife to the top of the stick. So if a bear ever came up to me, I could just whip off the sheath and have like a phalanx or something.
I'm sure you scared the shit out of some people that day.
I did. I was coming down from the mountains, so I was like on cloud 9, and I was washing my face in a river. Never done that before, so I'm like cheesing. And this couple comes walking past me. They're like, "Hey, brother, you okay?" And I pop my face out of the water, and I look up, like bug-eyed. I'm like, I'm more than okay. This is the best day ever. It's my first I don't know. I just was wicked excited. And the guy looked at me like, okay.
Yeah, man.
I'll let you be.
That's because like we do some pretty rough hikes in New Hampshire where they don't believe in like switchbacks for the most part. So you go out there, it's just a long walk with like low oxygen. And you got to deal with the weather. We got super lucky.
I mean, there's definitely technical scrambles and climbs out there too, but yeah, the White Mountains have their own like challenge. Like you almost never know what you're gonna walk into, or I never do because I never look at all trails. Mount Monroe.
That was fun.
Let's pick an easy one.
Yeah,
last one seemed
super
short.
easy. It was short, but it was probably one of the most technically challenging hikes I've done. Especially, I'm sure it made it a lot harder too, since it was like a thunderstorm.
Yeah, that added a little bit of spice to it when we were scrambling up a dry waterfall.
Yeah.
Which was no longer dry at that point.
Yeah, there was not a dry part of that.
I wanted to do this video forever. That book, the Kybalion,
Yeah.
it says that there are 7 laws that came out of alchemy, Hermeticism, and ancient philosophy that are timeless, and they exist on all planes. Physics, you can find them. Your thoughts, the way you analyze things cognitively, your emotions, it applies to everything. So I found that to be, I mean, if we're gonna get into the weeds here and say what is real magic, if we wanna have some fun with that word, well, this seems like a good place to start.
Yeah.
Practical application of the alchemical art.
Nice.
So, yeah,
I'm excited.
The 7 laws were, the first one was mentalism, that the fundamental nature of the universe is mental in substance, not material.
Okay.
So that's, I mean, the Enlightenment switched that,
Yeah.
but that starts there. Then it goes into polarity, saying that everything is defined by its relationship to something that is opposite of it.
Yeah, I mean, I think we're still trying to find that monopole in physics.
Yeah.
I don't think it really exists. Maybe it does. Maybe, but you're right. It does seem like everything is in a, a balance.
Like, think about like hot and colds. You can't really tell where hot ends and cold begins.
It's subjective.
You know, it's a question of degree. That is a degree of one thing, temperature.
Relative to something else.
Exactly.
You could be you could be almost at like absolute zero, but if you're looking at something relative to something else that's actually close to absolute zero, you could even say it's a little hotter.
Yeah, that neutrino is kicking back on a beach, drinking a margarita, saying, this is nice.
Hanging out.
So that's 2. Then it goes into cause and effect, saying that everything in existence is linked on some degree of causation. What we call chance, the Kybalion would say chance is a word for a law not yet understood. So that's a whole belief structure that everything is linked by causation. Even when we experience things that are seemingly coincidental, at a depth we can't see, there's an underlying cause.
Based on those principles, even with, say, free will, we are restricted to the causes of every action. So it's not, can't be one without the other.
But then as you accept that, you start to become more of a player. You're less reactive, and you're bringing out your own human agency, because you understand the deeper laws of existence.
Yeah, I mean, you probably have some philosophers that even starting at the first piece or psychologists that are talking about, are we living in something that is perceived through our minds or physically real? And yeah, you can do pretty deep dives on that alone.
Yeah, all this stuff gets really deep. That's why I love it. The next law is rhythm, that everything is has its rise and its fall. And like you were talking about, you were saying that you can be really chaotic, or you can hone in and kind of stabilize that rhythm.
Yeah, you're right. You can stabilize the oscillations.
When
the oscillations are there.
Yeah.
But you can find your path without being derailed by one of the oscillations.
Yeah, if you're not aware, you can be derailed is the right word. You can be completely caught up, by the chaos of that seeming up and down. But if you know what you're partaking in, then you can step away from it and kind of be more of an active participant in finding the balance rather than just being its victim.
That's why doing nature walks is helpful.
Oh, hell yeah, it is.
You can't help but start to work with the rhythm of nature, with the rhythm of our walking.
Dude, that's a beautiful point. Stepping into or merging with the rhythm of something that's beyond you. Because all of this is part of you. So those are 4 laws. The next one is vibration.
Okay.
I mean, that's self-explanatory in physics. Nothing's at rest. Everything's vibrating.
Yeah, that's a good segue from the oscillation.
Yeah. Good time comes in here because, if we need time in order to measure change, if everything is moving, that means that with time as the context, everything is constantly changing as well. Nothing's staying the same.
Snapshots is the best we can get. A steady state snapshot.
So what else we got? That's 5. I missed one of the biggest ones. Correspondence.
Okay.
That's the old as above, so below. So that means, it's another way to say, like, the mental and physical have like a recursive relationship where they affect one another. The last one is the most complex. It's the law of gender. And if you want to just be straight to the point with that, every single thing in the universe, every thought, every solid particle, every being has a masculine aspect to it and a feminine aspect. And that has nothing to do with biological sex, which is where we're trapped today.
Yeah. It's like a description of the certain features or characteristics of that, whatever it is you're talking about, which we've described as humans, but I know what you're saying at. Categorization is just another way to understand things.
Yeah, so those are the 7 Hermetic principles, as they're termed.
No, those are definitely some, I could see you doing some pretty deep dives on 7 different episodes, seriously, on that.
I think it helped me to grow a lot, because I remember like when I was trying to analyze or take control over my emotions, dissect my thinking, I had to pass every thought, every emotion through those 7 lenses.
Yeah.
Like, just so they would become less mysterious, and that seemed to really work.
Interesting. So every lens you went through became more and more focused.
Yeah.
It's like you kept turning the lens to a higher magnification.
Exactly. And then after a while, you start to see through your perception those principles playing out in society. You recognize them in physics. You see them in the words of the ancient philosophers, and you're like, all right, we're getting closer to describing what this is.
Yes.
We're getting some. It turns out those archaic ideas thousands of years ago, there was some nuggets of real wisdom in there that we threw out.
But you get every one of these lenses, no matter, even if you're magnifying it, our perceptions are through a filter. A filter developed based on our past experiences, our current perception of things. So that's another element too, being aware of what your filter is. How do you let it go? How do you clarify it?
Well, I actually talk about this with my clients a lot. My job is a contradiction because I'm supposed to help people to change, but I don't know about you, but the only time I change is when I get too sick and tired of my own shit.
Yeah, I would say change is definitely stimulated by an external force that's creating some type of imbalance within.
That's a real mystery to me. Why did we change? Because it doesn't seem to me like you were talking about willpower. I don't know anyone who's like, yeah, I had some forethought about my current behaviors and thinking patterns. I didn't really have any problems yet, but I decided to take some action so I could prepare for a better future. No one said that to me. I've never done that.
No, it's
usually, always like, this isn't working, my life is fucked.
Something is causing you to want this change. Stagnation, depression, addiction, something.
Let's see what's up this way.
Yeah,
Because I think this loops up to a ridge and then spits back over there.
Cool.
I have so many horror stories from trying to get into outdoor bouldering with Nick.
Yeah.
Like the first one I did, I forget where I was at, but it was probably like a V1. But I went up and I'm at the finish move trying to top off.
Yep.
But I get spooked, I'm locked off, I can't find my feet, there's nothing to grab.
Yeah.
I'm looking down, it feels like Nick is like a mile below me.
Yeah.
It's probably 10 feet.
Yeah.
And he's like, it's okay, bro, just, figure it out.
Yeah.
And there's a tree 2 feet away from the boulder. So I stem out with my foot and hand and I lock into the tree. So
Oh
now
my
I'm
gosh.
between a tree and the slab wall. And I'm looking down at Nick, and Nick is like, yeah, that's no good, bro. You should probably, figure something out. I'm like,
Oh, damn, boy.
I ended up topping it because I had to, otherwise
There's no backing down. At that point, you don't down climb 90% up it, especially bouldering.
Any hot single outdoor adventure ladies out there, YouTube, this man is very single.
Oh, jeez. I thought you were talking about yourself.
No.
Oh, boy.
No, I'll cut that out. We're not trying to. I probably won't. It'll probably stay in there. This just turns into an elaborate dating profile.
Oh, my gosh.
Things get really out of control. I have a video where I'm wearing a white robe in a meadow, sniffing flowers. I'm like reading Voltaire.
Crazy.
Therapist is like, Ryan, what are you doing?
Oh my gosh.
You might be okay with those. I'm just expecting that time of year in Maine for there to be a lot of.
But there'll probably be like a foot or so of snow.
Nice.
He's stuck.
Excellent.
Well, I'm gonna help you out, dude.
Hey, what do we got going on up there?
There we go. Where was your Grand Am? Did you get it towed?
Yeah. I actually just ran out of gas. I didn't realize that my gas sensor had broken. I didn't know that was a thing that could happen. Like, wow, this thing feels very fuel efficient lately.
Yeah, well, now you got a pretty solid Subaru, so. I mean, that's basically a house at this point.
Feels like it. Because then it begs the question, like, how long could I do that for? Let's say you're traveling the country, you got a membership to Planet Fitness. You can use their showers in their parking lot.
Dude, that would be a pretty wild YouTube video. How long can you live going across the country with just a Subaru and a Planet Fitness membership? You'd probably get like millions of followers.
That's the premise. Like, how long can I do this with no plan and minimal everything? You going back to work today on your research?
Yeah, but first, I'm gonna get a Christmas tree.
God, that's awesome, dude. Yeah, no one does the real trees anymore.
I'm all about the real trees. Just makes the whole house smell good. You get some more life in there. Cat likes it.
I get all fucked up on eggnog.
OD'd on eggnog at 8.
Oh, it was bad, dude.